Hey, speak for yourself, listeners. Before we start the show, I wanted to tell you about our brand new Fox Sports app and website, foxsports.com. Reimagined for the modern sports fan. Go ahead, download the new app now. You don't even have to pause this episode. Every day on the new app and website, you'll see the top stories in sports, plus a rich world of written content, videos, social media, and analytics to give you a 360-degree view of the most important stories of the day. Streaming live TV has never been so easy or elegant. Every Fox Sports game, including all pregame and postgame shows, are just one click away. For the extra invested fan, we also go deep with real-time wagering lines, trending prop bets, win probability.
I mean, welcome to Speak for Yourself.
So download the new Fox Sports app or visit www.foxsports.com.
Let's get it started in Tampa, somewhere better looking than this. And Tom Brady, who is on pace to break the Bucs' regular season touchdown record, but he's still getting criticized. The Bucs won last week, but Brady had his fewest pass attempts and completions this season. Bruce Arians has called out the GOAT publicly multiple times this season, but yesterday he took a different approach. Take a listen.
I don't know why anybody's criticizing Tom. I mean, what he did at the end of the half and to start the second half is very, very few teams can score 17 points in a matter of 5 or 6 minutes. No matter if we don't make a first down on this first 2 third downs, I don't care if we finish the half with 17 points. I don't give a how we start. So I mean, yeah, he's not getting enough credit for what he's doing.
So Acho, does Tom Brady deserve criticism this season?
Absolutely. Unlike what Colin ended the show with, talking about we in the hood, he was on to something. He was on to something.
Right.
If you get praised as the GOAT, which we do, we praise Tom Brady as the GOAT. If we give Tom Brady a pass because he's the GOAT, which we do, we give him a pass at times because he's the GOAT. Remember when Tom Brady berated his teammates on Thursday Night Football, I believe it was against the Chicago Bears, cussing everybody out except for himself? Marcellus, you came on the show and you said he can do that. He's the GOAT. He's earned that right. Well, if we gonna give him praise because he's the GOAT and we gonna give him a pass because he's the GOAT, oh, he gonna get this criticism like the GOAT too.
Okay.
He gonna get this criticism like the GOAT too. Marcellus, he came to Tampa Bay not to win regular season games. But more than that, because we're in the regular season. So he came to Tampa Bay, that is Tom Brady, not to beat bad teams. Jameis Winston was beating bad teams. Tom Brady came to Tampa Bay to take them from average to great. Okay? Tom Brady not doing that.
Not doing that?
Not doing that.
You know that's a fact.
Yeah, I do, because what we have seen is what we have seen. And the big eye in the sky, it don't lie. Let's talk about the full screen the last 2 seasons. Tom Brady versus playoff teams. He's 1-4. Pass touchdowns, pass interceptions, 1-to-1 ratio. Completion percentage, 60.5. Passer rating, 74. That's on the left. Tom Brady versus playoff teams. On the right, you see Jameis Winston last year in totality, 7-9. 33-30, pass touchdowns, interceptions, nearly 1-to-1, a little bit better. Completion percentage, a little bit better than Brady's. Passer rating, a little bit better than Brady's. I know what you're saying. You're going to say, Acho, how dare you compare Jameis Winston's whole body of work to Tom Brady versus playoff teams?
You know me well.
And I'm going to tell you exactly why. Because Tom Brady is here and Jameis Winston is here. Because Tom Brady's a Hall of Famer and Jameis Winston is a backup. Because Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time and Jameis Winston is currently in bust territory of #1 overall picks. Dang. So I am going to compare Tom Brady versus playoff teams to Jameis Winston versus everybody. Because Tom Brady, you came to Tampa Bay to beat playoff teams. So Marcellus, is Tom Brady deserving of his criticism? Absolutely. Because what you came to do, you not doing thus far.
Oh, wow. Okay, let me simplify what you just said there, because I don't think it was inaccurate. I just think it wasn't as detailed as necessary. Every single player that steps on the field between the white lines deserves some level of criticism, because it's a human being. None of us are perfect, so we all contribute to the wins, and we all contribute to the losses. Tom Brady is the GOAT, and we know that criticism is the cost of praise. And no player has been praised more than the most accomplished player ever in Tom Brady, the GOAT. With that said, let's not exaggerate. Let's not get excessive with this. And it sounds like your take was being excessive. Let's pour some on Tom Brady, because of right now, we don't think this team is great. And Tom Brady, you were brought there to make this team great. Yes, sir. But Tom Brady will retort, Hey, Acho. He don't even know your name. He gonna say, Acho, I seen you on TV. Sam? No? Oh, okay. Emmanuel, he'll say this. You know what I'm brought to do? Win championships. And guess what, Acho? I don't even win them every year. Guess what, Acho? I don't even win them every other year. But it sounds like you have a declaration out in the universe that Tom Brady goes to a team, Tampa Bay, first year, new coach, new system, new players, and he's supposed to win this year. We don't know how that's going to play out, but right now, Tom Brady always puts the ball in the regular season to what matters most to Tom Brady, the postseason. That's why I don't understand your take. I don't understand why you got so much bass in your voice in the regular season.
I'm 30 now.
Oh, that's what happened? My dog dropped. So, look, they're a 6th seed right now. They're in position to do everything that they want to do. They're establishing a winning culture. They're establishing a winning philosophy. Let me take you back to the bye week when Bruce Arians and Tom Brady were out golfing, or at least setting up golf. That's what they just kept talking about. Remember I told you about the foursome I was a part of? So anyway, they're golfing, and they come to a realization that, hey, Bruce Arians, you keep talking about play calling. I get it, dog. I'm in the playbook. I'm Tom Brady. I get this playbook. But you're not understanding my philosophy. Remember, 2 weeks ago, I came up here talking about Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, who always highlight the middle 4 minutes. Last 2 minutes before half, first 2 minutes after half, right? Belichick was the king of winning those moments right there. And Bruce Arians now comes out after a game and says this. Look, what he did at the end of the half and to start the second half against Minnesota, score 17 points. You guys shouldn't be criticizing this guy for his play because of what he did in those moments. That was a marriage, agreement on philosophy, on culture that's going to pay dividends going forward when it matters most in the postseason. You got to catch these little details.
The problem I have with your take, big dog, is very simple. You are too biased. You literally came on this very show, on this very set, and with all the bravado in the world, you gave Tom Brady a pass because he's the GOAT.
I gave him a pass.
Yes, sir, you
He earned that pass. I just gave him what he earned.
Great. You gave him what he earned. Well, you know what else he's earned?
Give you what you earned.
What he's earned is criticism when he performs below the bar. What's the bar?
What's the
bar? Tom, if you're not going to come in and make this team the best team in your division, if you're not going to come in and make this team the best team in the conference, then at least come in and make my offense better. At least come in and make my offense better than it was last year. The Bucs offense right now, 17th ranked. Last year, they were 3rd ranked. Now, the Bucs defense this year is 7th ranked. Last year, they were 15th ranked. I get that. The defense has vastly improved. But Tom Brady, if you're not going to come in and instantly start beating playoff teams, because Jameis Winston was 0-6 versus playoff teams. He couldn't beat playoff teams either last year. But Tom Brady, you 1-4 versus playoff teams. So you can't beat playoff teams either. Jameis Winston was 7-3 versus non-playoff teams. Tom Brady, you 7 or 6-1 versus non-playoff teams. So really, what you out here doing? Marcellus Wiley, I have another full screen for you. I didn't want to beat you down with the full screens, but I got to beat you down how I can beat you down. Let's talk about Tom Brady's ranks this season. Is he 5th in the NFL at interceptions? Wait a second.
Oh, really?
I thought we was bringing you in here to not throw these picks because Jameis was 1st in the league last year in picks. Tom Brady, you 5th? You got more picks than Daniel Jones and Matt Stafford. Tom Brady, are you 21st in pass yards per attempt? Wait a second. That's worse than Cam Newton. Tom Brady, are you 25th in completion percentage? Now, come on, big dog Marcellus. If you're going to sit here and make me wait and to see what Tom Brady's going to do in the playoffs, that's fine. I'm going to kick my feet up. I got my Uggs on right now underneath this desk. I'm going to kick my feet up, and I'll relax and I'll wait. But what I won't wait for is for the offense to improve, because Tom Brady, you came here to improve the offense.
Oh, you got your Uggs on, huh? Tom Brady wears Uggs. That influence is great, ain't it? Ain't it? You
Mine were gifted.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Kendra Scott.
And I'm the one that's biased, but you up here wearing Tom Brady shoes, but I'm the one that's biased. Let's talk about what I got here to counter your argument right there. You really don't like complimentary football. You're like most naysayers, most couch potatoes, most fantasy players. All they want is excitement. All they want is those winning numbers, and even if it doesn't mean winning results. Jameis Winston comes to mind. Oh, my God. I would love him on my fantasy team when he throws those touchdowns. Then I would try to abort him off my fantasy team when he throws those picks. And you brought up the picks. Is Tom Brady 5th in interceptions? Oh, are the Bucs 8th in turnover margin. Now, you may say, what does that matter? It's top 10, but it ain't that special, is it? Oh, yes, it is. You know what they were last year?
What's that?
28th. I wonder how you go from 28th to 8th and how it affects the entire team, not just Jameis Winston's stats. I tell you how. When you play complementary football, when you win the middle four, when you are a guy that makes sure you don't turn the ball over and get the defense out there tired, you're a guy that's playing complementary football because you're thinking about all three phases as you're playing your position. Tom Brady, 30 touchdown passes, his most since 2017. But Acho wants to sneeze at that. Like, what standard are you living by? Tom Brady is a better version than he was last year, the year before as well. So if you look at Tom Brady in a nutshell, this is a guy that's going out there and helping them win. You want to hear a top 5 stat? That's not a negative?
Please.
How about 4th most touchdown passes in the NFL this season? That's what Tom Brady's doing. He's taking care of the football better than Jameis Winston, which is allowing this team to be better than it was last year, as their record indicates. 7 wins last year, 8 wins this year, and still have games to go.
Complimentary football.
Complimentary football.
That's nice. Complimentary football, that's balance, right? That's supposed to be balance. Like, you have a balanced attack, rushing and passing. You have a balanced attack.
No, you leading me somewhere. Did I say balance? Did balance come out of my mouth? You ain't going to be doing this. I didn't say balance.
Complimentary football, for those
it helps everybody.
What that means is the offense complements the defense. The passing attack complements the rushing attack. That is what complimentary football means, Marcellus. You know this.
Okay, good. All right, that's it.
Against the New Orleans Saints, a playoff team.
Chill.
The Buccaneers passed the ball 38 times. They ran it 5. That's not complimentary football.
They were getting smashed.
Against the Los Angeles Rams, weren't getting smashed in this game.
No.
The Buccaneers passed the ball 48 times, ran it 18. That's not complimentary football.
That's before the bye.
Against the Kansas City Chiefs, didn't get smashed that game.
They ain't get golfing yet.
The Buccaneers passed the ball 41 times. They ran it 13. That's not complimentary football. Don't come here and lie to America about complimentary football when in these 3 games, if I can try to do this math in my head as I am talking, the Buccaneers have rushed the ball 33 times and they have passed the ball. Ooh, that looks like 100 and maybe 36, and I just did that on the fly, sir. So if that's complimentary football, I don't ever want a compliment from Marcellus Wiley.
Oh, you ain't gonna get many anyway. You know how I roll. Joke City. That's all I got. I got snipes at you. Look, I told you they came to a marriage, an understanding, an agreement after they went golfing on the bye week. You keep giving me pre-bye week statistics, which gives us a picture of what's going on, but not in totality, because they've come to a different level of understanding that will pay dividends going forward. You don't understand what's at play right now. And it's funny how Tom Brady kind of crept his way silently to becoming the GOAT. Because I saw him from day one in his career. You, at that time, were young. What was that, 10 years or so when Tom Brady's drafted? I'm already in the league, so I see it coming. And you don't see Tom Brady as a GOAT coming. And then all of a sudden, just success, steady Eddie, championship. Then you start to realize they're playing a different way over there in New England. We always talk about more games are lost than won in the NFL. And that's what Tom Brady has mastered, the art of not losing games for yourself. Make them beat us and let us not beat ourselves. So this is a team that's going to play complementary football going forward, already a winning record, successful this year. But more importantly, what happens in the playoffs? This team, 6th seed, they got to go on the road, right?
Yes, they do.
I'm going to read you this sentence.
Please.
And please, answer honestly, emotionally.
Yes, sir.
Don't come up here acting, because that camera's on right here.
Never do.
Tom Brady has been at his best on the road this season. 296 passing yards a game, 15 touchdown passes, 2 interceptions, and a 107 passer rating. Do you have confidence in the GOAT when he goes on the road with this team that's playing complementary football going forward? Yes or no, Acho?
No.
We on TV, that ain't interesting.
No.
Say something.
No, because I thought about it. You told me not to lie. I had to pause. The reason I say no is because I think what trumps that sell? Primetime games. You know that. What trumps all that amazing statistic you just gave me?
On the road.
The problem is what you left out is prime time games. Tom Brady, I trust him as a baller. Bruce Arians, I trust him. I liked him when he was at Arizona coaching Carson Palmer. I like Bruce Arians. But what trumps all of those stats that you just gave me is when the lights come on, Bruce Arians does not know how to coach this team. At least that's what we've seen thus far this year. The other problem I have with your take, although I love how you
gotta like my take a little bit.
I do. I like how you led me to water. The problem is I'm not going to drink it. Is this, you said since the bye week. Marcellus, they've played one game since the bye week. You that dude is like, wait, but baby, I was on time last night though. But wait, but baby, but I got you flowers. But wait, but baby. She's like, Marcellus, what about the last 12 weeks, not the last 12 hours? Don't talk to me about the one game since the bye week that they won in part because the Vikings field goal kicker had a historically bad performance. Haven't seen a performance like that since 1961. I'm not throwing out everything except for their last performance, though.
Wow. Do I have to go with your Cleveland Browns take? Look where he's playing. It's Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield could do no wrong because he's in Cleveland. He threw 9 interceptions. It's okay. He's still the best quarterback Cleveland's seen in 20 years, right, Wiley? Why don't I play that card right here? Tom Brady's on a team that hasn't won a playoff game since they won the Super Bowl, 2002. Acho. Junior high for you. Not even junior high for you. It's been a long time.
Not even.
Not even. So guess what? It's a barren land in terms of opportunity, in terms of success in the past. But when I look at this team right now, they have the proper leadership. They have the GOAT. They finally understand who they are in terms of philosophy. And I got to point out one more thing you said earlier. Because you really are biased against Tom Brady, bringing up the fact that he was cussing his teammates out, but didn't cuss himself out. You said that. You said that.
I did.
All right, Acho, let's play a little game right here.
Talk to me.
If I'm going to cuss you out, what do I have to do? I have to say it externally, right? So you can hear it, right? If I'm going to cuss myself out, do you need to hear it? That's my point. The GOAT cussed himself out. He's so damn gangster, nobody even heard it. Coming up at the top of the hour, Baker Mayfield's confidence is soaring. But we'll tell you if that will help or hurt the Browns. I made that up. But first, Drew Brees can return to practice. Yeah, but we'll tell you if it's a good idea to rush him back this weekend. Next, Speak for Yourself.
What's up, Speak for Yourself listeners? It's your boy Shay Sharp, co-host of FS1's Undisputed. I wanted to tell you about my new podcast, Club Shay Shay, where we always do something before two something. Each week, I sit down with a guest for a drink and conversation, and as host and proprietor of Club Shay Shay, I've welcomed in esteemed guests such as Snoop Dogg, Floyd Money Mayweather, LeVar Ball, Isaiah Thomas, just to mention a few. Whether I'm talking to an athlete, a musician, an actor, or a lifelong friend, Club Shay Shay is a place where people share inspiring and motivational stories about their journeys to prominence. The new episode drops every Monday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe to Club Shay Shay now and make sure you never miss a new episode. Now, back to Speak for Yourself.
Welcome back to Speak for Yourself. Drew Brees can return to practice after missing the last 4 games with broken ribs and a punctured lung. Ouch. The Saints are 3-1 with Taysom Hill, though, as the starter and have a big matchup against the Chiefs. Sean Payton said Brees has a ways to go and added his quarterback is, quote, someone we're not just going to hurry back and just put him in the game, close quote. So, big dog Marcellus Wiley, should the Saints rush Drew Brees back this weekend?
No, not at all. And just the trigger word of rush. Like, rush. Like, when is it good to rush anywhere, doing anything?
I respect it.
Rush?
I respect
really?
it.
Not according to schedule? Not according to plan? Not according to structures? Rush. I don't like that at all. And especially when you're talking about a guy who has 11 broken ribs and a punctured lung. Even if you're healing from that, like you said a couple of days ago, are you mentally healed? Do you trust your body? Do you trust your talents when they're physically healed in that moment? I don't know about that, but right now, rushing him back makes no sense to me. You also got to look at their schedule. And a lot of times when you talk about injuries, a lot of teams want to look at the forecast or when's the bye week? When can we buy ourselves some time in terms of this injury? The Saints have the Chiefs and Vikings, 2 games on 4 days rest between them. So you play one day, rest, play again. That's 5 days. I played 2 games, my body said, and I'm the guy with 11 fractured ribs and a punctured lung. Chill. I can't even walk around and breathe comfortably, let alone play the game of football. So a lot of people out there are, well, the sky will fall if we got to continue with Taysom Hill. I don't know about that. Starting for the Saints right now, looking at this full screen, Drew Brees and Taysom Hill in terms of yards per game, comparable. Rushing yards per game for the team. All right, they do a little better with Taysom Hill because obviously Taysom Hill's running the ball more than Drew Brees. And offensive touchdowns per game, lighten up the scoreboard, exactly the same. So wait a minute, if I could buy myself some time, 2 games in a 5-day stretch, by using my backup and allowing my franchise quarterback to heal for the postseason, I got to stick to that plan.
Don't hate your take. Obviously, I'm going to push back. I'm with you, though. Whenever you hear that word rush, it's like, oh, you're going to mess something up if you rush. I feel it. Yeah. But I like the quote. I think my coach used to tell me in college. He would say, Acho, be quick, but don't rush. Say, be quick, but don't rush. I do think, however, the Saints should be quick in getting Drew Brees back this weekend if they can. Here's why, Marcellus. I spent all day yesterday telling you one simple but very powerful stat. If you play the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes is 31-1 if you don't put up 28 points or more. Patrick Mahomes is 31-1 if you don't score more than 28 points. Taysom Hill is the quarterback. They put up 24 points a game. That is the New Orleans Saints. Drew Brees as a quarterback. They put up 30 points per game. That is the New Orleans Saints. Taysom Hill, the only game he has scored more than 28 points this year as a starter against a team with no quarterback, the Denver Broncos. The last time a Drew Brees team has scored 21 points was, you got to go back to week 9, sir, of 2019. So I say this. If you're not going to put up more than 28 points, and Taysom Hill has shown that on average he can't do that, you might as well not even play the game against the Chiefs. Like, any given Sunday,
what does that matter?
Anything can happen. Anything can't happen. I'm telling you, 32 times. There was one time that a team didn't score 28
can't happen
and beat them boys. If you not going to play Drew Brees, Saints, and y'all ain't going to put up 30 points, y'all might as well not even take the field. Well, let's bring in someone who's taken the field a lot. Won a Super Bowl as well. That's NFL analyst Greg Jennings. So, G, you tell me in your T-shirt, should the Saints rush Drew Brees back this weekend, sir?
No, you can't rush him back. Obviously, you want the best player available on the football field if you are the New Orleans Saints. And if Drew Brees is not healthy, then that makes him not the best player because you want him down the road, down the stretch, like Marcellus said. And anytime you have ribs, like we've all played ball. I've had both ribs on both sides broken, and it is uncomfortable. Specifically the weeks after you get it fractured or broken, what have you, it takes so long for those ribs to heal. I didn't have a punctured lung, so I can't even speak to that. But the ribs, I only had one on each side, and it took me about 5-6 weeks for me to even get back to the point of where I could comfortably sit down in my seat or in a chair or in the car. So let alone getting behind the center and having to throw balls and then having defensive ends or defenders coming down on me, potentially hitting me in those ribs because they know that's where I am most vulnerable. You can't allow your quarterback to be susceptible to something like that. I think that they are riding the wave just fine with Taysom Hill at quarterback. You continue to ride that wave. You sprinkled in these guys one for another, pending the game plan and how you see the game working. If you're Sean Payton, you can ride this wave against the Kansas City Chiefs and the Vikings, and for that matter, for the remainder of the season before allowing Drew Brees to come out and expose himself against these two teams.
I respect that, G. I respect it. I'm not mad at it, but let's go deeper because I'm on a show with former NFL players that know the game better than anybody and everybody. If you don't, let me talk it like this. Right now, the Saints don't have that bye week. You want to know who does have the bye week? The Green Bay Packers, the one team that has beat the Saints this year that they might have to face again in the playoffs, unless you somehow think the Eagles going to make the playoffs or the Raiders are going to somehow get back in it. So the only team that has beat the Saints this year is this Packers team that currently has the bye. Right now, Saints, if you do not play Drew Brees and you lose to these Chiefs, you know what the Packers going to do week 17? Greg, you've probably been in this position before when you already got the bye locked up. You're going to rest your starters. If you can't get the bye, Saints, at a minimum, you got to make sure the Packers play every game the rest of the season because maybe, just maybe, Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams, maybe they'll run into rib issues like Drew Brees had to run into. Maybe at least then they'll limp into the playoffs instead of sprinting into the playoffs. The Saints have to find a way to stay competitive for that 1 seed because if the Saints drop one more game, it's over for them getting the 1 seed. What's going to happen? The Packers going to get to week 17 and be like, hey, Rod, you can be on the bench. Aaron Jones, take it off. Devontae Adams, you good. everybody for the Packers, who are their big-time players, they going to go into the playoffs even more fresh than the Saints. And that, to me, is even bigger trouble.
Oh, man. We're having a conversation about wants and needs because Acho is making it sound like it's imperative that they have the #1 seed. It's imperative that they have the bye and that they play at home. But it's not. If you look at this team, this is a team that has the most wins on the road since 2017. So fully comfortable playing in the elements outside of the dome, even though the narrative doesn't suggest that, but the numbers do. And wants and needs takes me back to Baby Boy. You ever see Baby Boy Acho? It's about guns and butter. It's about guns and butter, boy. All right, so anyway, had to get that one out. So here's the thing. You look at the Saints players, they're like, yo, we've had the 3rd easiest schedule up to this point, but going forward, we have the 9th toughest schedule. And I think right now this is a time for Sean Payton and the organization to make a muscular move. I always talk about muscular moves because that's a move that's going to serve multiple purposes for you as a franchise. We can rest Drew Brees. We have 2 games in 5 days. We can also see what Taysom Hill can really do against the tougher opponents. Look at this schedule going for Chiefs and the Vikings, and then you finish off with the Panthers. And then we buy ourselves some time and go forward. We have to instill in our team the fact, not the narrative, that we're good away from New Orleans. So why should we trip? I think that's how you have to look at it and rely on your second-ranked defense to show up. A little embarrassing to lose to a first-time starter as a rookie in Jalen Hurts last week. It's time to redeem themselves. So borrow some time from not only your backup quarterback, but your second-ranked defense, and let's see how we play going forward.
You know what, Marcellus? I'll take that take a little further. I like that. And you start to dip and dabble with things that you possibly would have not allowed Taysom Hill to do. You got to get him to throw the ball downfield. You got to get teams to respect him as a thrower, because when Drew Brees comes back, all of a sudden you have a quarterback that you know exactly what they're going to do. And when Taysom Hill comes in, if he has established himself as somewhat of a pass-throwing quarterback as well as a runner, as we know him to be, then now you have a whole nother slate of plays that you have to attribute to what he has on his table and his capability of doing and providing a team. I don't like them rushing Drew Brees back. And Acho, you talked about making the Packers have to play their guys. One thing I will say this, teams wanting to rest, they struggle with even that. I've been on a team that's 15-1, and you kind of want to go into the season, whether you have the luxury of sitting guys or not, letting them play so they don't get rusty. Time and chemistry has been at a premium in this season, in this year. We all know that with the less amount of on the field and practice time. So I don't know if we will even see an Aaron Rodgers or Devontae Adams just completely sit because they have a bye wrapped up.
But let me ask you this, though, G. Do you not take into account at all the fact that you know to beat the Chiefs, you got to put up these points? Taysom Hill, you saw it with your own eyes against the Saints. You saw it with your own eyes against the Falcons. You really saw it even against the Broncos, even though they put up 31 points. You know Taysom Hill can't put up the same amount of points. He doesn't have the same firepower. Alvin Kamara and the other star players are undermined by playing Taysom Hill. Do you not at least consider the fact that, realistically, if we roll Taysom Hill out there, our chances of winning are severely decreased than if we roll Drew Brees out there, fully healthy or not?
I respect that, and I do agree. However, I think I would like to know Sean Payton a little bit better in how he's been approaching this entire season. We thought the moment that Drew Brees went down, we're going to see Jameis Winston. Why? Because he can run the offense from the pocket. However, Sean Payton went a completely different way. He said, no, we're going to see Taysom Hill because we want you to prepare for, you got to excuse me, that's Drew Brees. That's Drew Brees at the door. That's Drew Brees at the door right there. Don't worry about it.
How many rooms you have in that mansion? Goodness. I thought of you. Damn,
come on, man.
That was a rich doorbell. Like, I ain't never heard much money come out of a doorbell like that.
They just knock when they get to my house.
All right, Greg got him at the door.
Come on, man.
Silver spoons.
At any rate, I believe that Sean Payton will have the luxury of having Jameis Winston step in as well as Taysom Hill. So you don't have to rush Drew Brees back to pose the throwing threat that you you think that they don't have when you talk about these Chiefs teams and these Vikings and all these other teams that you have to put up points against. So I don't mind him just allowing Taysom Hill to really just get your feet wet. Throw the ball. Stop holding the ball in the pocket so much. Get rid of the ball. Understand the timing that it takes to play this position.
I like that take right there. I'm still on that doorbell, though. I know when Greg get off this out of this segment, he's going to say, hey, wife, was that the creatine from Amazon? Was that my creatine? Oh, muscular ass. Okay, here's the thing. You made two tremendous points, and I don't want to go over them as deep as you did. But in short, I love the fact that if you let Taysom Hill continue to play right now, it exposes him to more, and it also makes other defenses have to think about more. That was a tremendous point right there. And also the fact that Greg really experienced going 10-6 and winning the Super Bowl, next year 15-1, and they lost the first game of the playoffs. So we all know playing the game of football, just being human beings, let alone conditioned athletes, that it takes forever to get into shape, to get your timing, to get your rhythm, to get your chemistry. But it takes no time for you to lose all those same things. So teams that try to play around with rest sometimes look out after the game and they figure out that we really didn't rest. We got rusty. So tremendous points by you, Bartholomew.
Y'all made a lot of points with your words. Y'all truly did. To the Saints rushed Drew Brees back this weekend. But y'all's words weren't actually the most convincing aspect of why one shouldn't rush. See, Greg clearly rushed to get ready for the show today because 2 days ago, Greg was on the show and my dog was looking dapper. 2 days ago, my dog Greg came on the show, full turtleneck with the full suit. Today, he came on in a black T-shirt and a vest from Goodwill. Coming up, Josh Allen and the Bills are streaking in the right direction. But we'll tell you if he's a top 5 quarterback. That's next. Speak for yourself.
Not with that, with the Goodwill. Not with that doorbell. You ain't going to Goodwill. Tonight, Derek Carr and the Raiders are fighting for a shot at the playoffs, but rookie sensation Justin Herbert and my Chargers are looking for the upset. Thursday Night Football, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on Fox. Also available on NFL Network and streaming on Prime Video. Speaking of that game, it's time to make our picks for tonight's Thursday Night Football Super 6 contest. Download the free Fox Super 6 app now and play along with us. One of the questions is, which team will win and by how many points? So, Acho, who you like?
31-26, the Raiders.
Oh, he just don't like me. 20-19. Go Chargers. Go Chargers and Justin Herbert. All right, Fox Super 6 has given away over $3 million. Make sure you get your picks in before kickoff tonight for your shot to win. All you have to do is correctly answer 6 questions about tonight's game. And for top stories, scores, and more, go to the Fox Sports app. Always wanted to do that. Let's stay in the AFC and move to Josh Allen. And the Bills can clinch their first AFC East title in 25 years this weekend. And Josh Allen is a big reason why. Third-year quarterback has turned it around so much this season that he has the third best MVP odds, according to Fox Bet. The 10-3 Bills are in Denver Saturday, and their head coach, Vic Fangio, called Allen, quote, one of the top quarterbacks in the league. Greg is back with us, but Acho, is Josh Allen a top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quarterback in our league?
Josh Allen is balling right now. He is ascending, but no, sir, I am not going to crown him until he is ready to be crowned.
There you go.
I'll give you some names. Right now, off rip, I'll just go Deshaun, Big Ben, Mahomes, Russ, and Rodgers if I was just talking regular season play. If you want me to talk postseason play, because you know and Greg knows better than both of us, that's what really matters in football, I'll take Brees, Brady, Russ, Big Ben, and Mahomes. Josh Allen is balling. I'll say it again. Josh Allen balling. And coming from Wyoming, everybody was asleep on him, said he wasn't accurate, had a big arm, but couldn't do this, but couldn't do that. But what I need to remind y'all of is we have to put things in context. Josh Allen is balling for Josh Allen. If I was to ask Greg, if I was to ask Marcellus, if I was to say this, hey, fellas, how's Big Ben doing this year? What would y'all say?
He eating.
G, how's Big Ben playing this year?
Balling.
He all right.
Exactly.
He can be
like that's facts. Greg would say exactly what I would say. Like, yeah, he all right. He playing well. Like, he could be better. But if we can look at the full screen, please. Big Ben's team is playing better. Big Ben has more touchdowns. Big Ben has same amount of interceptions. Completion percentage is adequate. Now, I know what you're going to push back and say, which is why I have the last 2 categories on there. Well, Acho, Josh Allen has 6 rushing touchdowns.
There you go.
Acho, Josh Allen has 350 rushing yards.
There you go.
Yeah. he's also been sacked 24 times and given up 150 sack yards negative. Marcellus, don't shrug that off. You know the game of football is won and lost based on creating negative plays. You were paid millions of dollars to get sacks. So don't shoulder shrug me like I'm an emoji. And the other thing we talk about is Josh Allen. He got 6 fumbles lost. So all the running the ball that he's doing and all the positive touchdowns he's getting running the ball, he's also hurting his team doing that as well. I'm not saying Josh Allen isn't good. I'm not saying he's not helping his team more than he's hurting his team. But I already anticipate the argument, well, Josh Allen can run. He can. But that running has also led to 24 sacks, 6 fumbles lost. So I would say Big Ben is playing all right. Greg would say Big Ben is playing all right. But Big Ben is playing as good as, if not better than Josh Allen. We just think for Josh Allen is playing elite.
Man, I had coaches that used to always hear us complain, and they used to say, look, dude, don't talk about the pain, just show me the baby, which means results is all I care about. I don't care how hard it is. I don't care what you're doing. And Acho, your take took me so far beneath the surface.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn what's going on.
We do work here, Marcellus.
Yeah, that's
great. We
get
paid to go beneath the surface, Sal.
Sometimes it's just as obvious as it needs to be as simple, and you need to keep it simple. Yes, Josh Allen is a top 5 quarterback. You had the nerve to mention Deshaun Watson.
I did.
Excuse me. Let me get into my self-help book mode, which always tells you to focus in on the present. Just focus in on the right now. Hey, the future will come and the past is gone. So let's focus in on right now. Take all of you what you know about these quarterbacks, and a lot of this implicit bias or explicit bias comes from the fact that you know how good they've been. But how good are they right now? Oh, Josh Allen certainly is top 5. In terms of wins, which matters the most on the surface, Acho, I'm not going that deep. I'm not splashing. I'm not diving for it. Only Patrick Mahomes and Big Ben have more wins than him this year. And he's better than Big Ben this year, so let's stop that. So only Patrick Mahomes can really go out there and say something to the young cat, who is what? 3rd in wins this year, 3rd in game-winning drives, 4th in fourth quarter comebacks, 6th in touchdown completion percentage, and yards. We're talking about a dude who not only has climbed his own mountain, but is up there with the NFL elites in terms of his production. And his production satisfies me, but his wins. This is a guy that already has a 10-win season. And now, what were they in this year? 13 wins? And now we're going to sit here and try and slight the youngster because he's new on the block? Give him his roses while he can still smell them. Josh Allen is top 5.
I'm with you, Marcellus, and I know just a couple of days ago, I was talking, we compared Josh Allen and Deshaun Watson, and I took Deshaun Watson. However, Josh Allen is a baller, and I'm going to recognize him for what he is. I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't see what I see. And yes, you put the full screen up, Acho, and I want to address the 24 sacks and the 6 fumbles. That's what makes him so good. The fact, if you look at Aaron Rodgers, I played with him his earlier years, he got sacked more. Why? Because he could use his legs, because he held onto the ball more. If you look at the guy who you even decided to compare him to, Ben Roethlisberger, before he turned the corner on age and started to get rid of the ball a little bit more, he got sacked more. Why? Because he extended plays. He played off script. That's what provided his team with so much success. And that's what we're seeing with Josh Allen. He is a quarterback that's playing with tremendous amounts of confidence right now because of what Brandon Beane, the general manager, and Sean McDermott, has seen in this quarterback when it comes to his skill set. Now let's put pieces around him so that he can show the world and Acho how good he really is, and he can put some respect on his name and call him a top 5 quarterback in the National Football League.
Gentlemen. Just because you not top 5 ain't no disrespect now. Let's not act like me saying that he's the 7th, the 8th, maybe the 6th best quarterback. Let's not act like I'm disrespecting the young brother and doing him a disservice, but I'm going to educate y'all and I'm going to educate the people. I'm sure y'all heard this before, especially you, Columbia. Y'all remember the iceberg principle? It's the theory that suggests that we can't see most of a situation's data. See, y'all are only looking at the 10% of the iceberg. That's what is above the ocean. But I am diving beneath the surface because unlike you all, I'm doing a little bit more homework. The other name for the iceberg principle, Marcellus, it's also the theory of omission. See, you all are omitting pivotal data. That is, well, what about Josh Allen and what we've seen from him in the playoffs? What about the body of work? Even if you want to talk about this season's body of work, let's remember the movie we all love, also the true story, the Titanic is sunk, Sal, because of what happened beneath the surface, sir. So I'm just trying to take y'all beneath the surface. Josh Allen is a great ascending quarterback, but can we all please just put this in perspective? Y'all out here trying to crown the kid before he's even gotten fit for the crown or the throne.
Wow. Okay. Acho wants to sit up here and try to assess our intelligence based on, I don't know what, schooling or looks. I do more homework. I'm Emmanuel Acho. Well, study long, study wrong. That's what happened. I don't know why the hell you in the book so hard. It's kind of obvious. Now, I don't even want to go into the conversation of going forward. If you were to draft a quarterback today, would Josh Allen be one of the top 5 quarterbacks drafted? Obviously, we're going to pick Patrick Mahomes. Since we brought up Patrick Mahomes, the best quarterback we have in the game right now, let's compare Josh Allen to the best quarterback in the game right now. Josh Allen playing against teams with scoring defenses, top 5 scoring defenses, 4-0 with 14 touchdowns and 2 interceptions and a passer rating of 121.8. I'm talking about the Rams, the Steelers, the Dolphins, the 49ers. Let's compare him to Patrick Mahomes, who's only faced those teams, the Dolphins. And what did the Dolphins do to Patrick Mahomes when he faced them? 3 interceptions, and a 30-yard sack. All right, not much comparison then. How about this? The Chiefs are 7-0 since Week 7. Where are the Bills? Right there behind them, 6-1. Right there keeping pace with the best quarterback. All right, since Week 9, the Bills are leading the NFL in scoring. Wait a minute, not the Chiefs? Oh, no, the Chiefs are number 4. Okay, what about the Bills allowing fewer points per game than the Chiefs in that same span? Hey, if he is stacking up right there in measurables, in actual stats, with the best quarterback we have available, how does Acho drop him, not 2, 3, 4, or 5, but to number 6 or something else? Makes no sense to me. Coming up, JuJu Smith-Schuster. Oh, here we go. Hey, fired up by the Bills. JuJu, do your dance. On their logo, JuJu, chill. We'll tell you if we have an issue with his pregame moves next. Speak for yourself.
Welcome back to Speak for Yourself. Now, the Bills beat the Steelers last week, and it appears they had extra motivation. JuJu Smith-Schuster danced on the Bills logo during pregame and it fired up Buffalo. Josh Allen even called out the act during his pregame huddle. But JuJu said he gonna keep on dancing, adding, quote, "I'm not going to stop being myself." Greg is back with us. Good to see you, G. But Marcellus, would you have an issue with JuJu dancing on your logo pregame?
No, I have no issue at all. I'm not symbolic like that. I'm not here part of the council to protect logos. It ain't even my damn logo. It ain't in my contract, the logo. I'm worried about me getting ran over, not a damn logo getting ran over. That's all I give a damn about. And if you care about this to the point where you're going to retaliate about this, I think you're motivationally challenged. Yeah, you're weak. You're one of them tough guys. Got to show everybody in the world you down. I'm for this. What? He disrespect the logo, homie? On mamas, we gonna get him, homie. I hated those dudes growing up, and I hate them when they make their money and they trying to be tough for the world to see. That's why I didn't gangbang growing up. Hey, man, you better rep Crenshaw. Hey, man, I don't own nothing on Crenshaw. We renting our apartment. I don't even own that. So what the hell I'm gonna go out there and represent for? Y'all some salt. Ooh, I'm gonna start cursing up here. Let me get out my tape. Point being, this is weak. This is weak. All these dudes, it has no bearing on the game. It's about tackles and execution. And you talking about pregame JuJu's on the beat? All right. I'm good. I ain't with that.
Hey, you said I don't even live here. We rent here. I don't even own. This ain't my house.
This ain't this. I don't own Buffalo Bills.
Look, man, I'm with you 1,000%, big dog. I have no issue with JuJu dancing on a logo. Look, let me put this in context for the fans, particularly if you ain't played sports. If this was college, it'd be different. But remember this. Players choose the college they go to. The NFL team chooses the player they draft. So you don't even get to choose the organization you play for.
Right.
I don't have any sort of allegiance to a logo. I got an allegiance to the check. I got an allegiance to some teammates, might have an allegiance to some coaches. People would always ask me, hey, Acho, you know, what team do you root for? Because you played in the NFL. I said, I rooted for the team that was paying me. That's who I root for. I have no issue with him dancing on it. The reason Josh Allen is young. What is he, 23, 24 years old? Josh Allen was just in college 3 years ago. Like, he still has that collegiate mindset. I got to protect my logo. You don't. You got to protect your boys. You got to protect yourself. That's what you really got to protect. Dancing on a logo is not a big deal. Ain't no issues here.
Yeah, I'm with you guys 100%. Marcellus, you got me weak over here, man. But when you hear guys say, yeah, man, I saw him dance on a logo, that gave me a little extra inch, a little extra fire. What you mean? You weren't gonna come out and give me that if he wasn't dancing?
Thank you.
So that's where I have an issue. I didn't need somebody to dance on a logo or come out and show me up in ways that wasn't pertaining to me directly. Okay, you come out and disrespect me directly.
Facts.
Yeah, you might get something else extra because you just incited for me to do a little bit more and come out of a little bit more. But if you doing it to this team, I'm cool as long as you ain't touch me and you ain't impacted my family. We all good. I'm telling you that right now.
Yo, I love these conversations because I feel like fans are listening at home like, what? He danced on our logo. He danced on our logo. No, yo, we don't care. My homeboy hit me the other day. They were like, yo, you don't have an issue with John Harbaugh got all mad. How come John Harbaugh was getting mad at the players maybe 2 weeks ago? How come the Ravens players didn't step up? I'm like, they worried about the game. Like, I'm not worried about what somebody else does. Now, I'll say this. There's a difference between, y'all remember T.O. when he played for the Niners? He scored on the Cowboys, ran back to the star, and he hit him with that number. Now, that's different.
That's dope,
See,
too.
now you disrespecting me right then and there as a defender because you just scored on me. That's different, Sal.
That's different,
Sal.
Okay, tell me who that. All right, I got one for you. First of all, I was enamored with T.O. and his celebrations. His game. Look, T.O., with my eyes on the field, best receiver I ever saw. He ran every single route, and when he caught the ball, that's when the problems began. He was running with that one ball in his hand and knocking people out the way the other way. We played him when I was on the Chargers, and T.O. scored a long pass, 30, 40 yards, whatever. Enough time for us to collect our breath, realize we ain't going to catch him, but let's look at the celebration. Why not? And we're seeing T.O. just over there pom-pom shaking. I ain't going to lie. It was disrespectful for the scoreboard to light up 6, 7 points, but it wasn't disrespectful to celebration. How does him run into a star and say, oh, yeah, I'm a star, disrespect me? The disrespectful thing is we allowed him to score to get that opportunity. Make it make sense, Hodge?
I'm torn. Because remember, y'all remember when Cam Newton was hitting them folk, and then the Titans defender was like, hey, chill out. I was with it at the time because I'm like, if you don't want him to dance, don't let him in the end zone. But at the same time, so if I put myself back in them shoes as a defender, if you go sit there and you score on me, and then you run to the star, you know what I'm saying? Then you run and everybody watching. It's national TV, mom and them watching, and then you just finna score and then go celebrate. Now you doing too much, big dog.
Greg,
now I'm mad.
Greg, he ain't running to Acho's locker, put on his clothes and his headphones and grab his phone. He just ran to the star. What Acho fake tough for? It make no sense, Greg.
Look, Marcellus, I'm with you 100%. I'm telling you right now, I own this property that I'm sitting in right now.
That's it.
If somebody comes outside of my property and start marking up the street or eggs my neighbor's house, am I looking? Yeah, I'm looking like, dang. Am I concerned yet? I'm not concerned until I see an ounce of egg on my house. Once I see that egg on my house, then we got a problem. Until then, I'm looking in here. I'm telling my wife, nah, babe, watch, stay back here. That ain't got nothing to do with us. That ain't got nothing to do with us.
I'm with you there. Hey, what's that noise, baby? What's that noise? I don't know. It sounded far enough away from me where it don't matter what that noise was. And look, the Bill safety, what Jordan Poyer said, that turned us up a little bit hearing about him dancing on the logo again. I hate this. Acho talked about it. He touched on it. When I played football, every single player, no matter who was on the injury report, no matter if they were a rookie or veteran, a perennial Pro Bowler, I expected 100%. Why does that matter? Because when I expect 100%, nothing you're going to do is going to scare me because I'm fully prepared for it. Now, you may be more skilled than me. You may be better than me. You may be whooping me up and down this field. But I am not going to now fathom that you can turn it up even another notch. Like there's a 110% notch. And that's the problem.
Come on,
you can see that's I knew I would get him. Greg,
I hate when you do this.
I hate when you do this. Wait a minute. Oh, it's on now. It wasn't on before?
No.
It was on so I stepped on the field.
Keep in the 3 boxes. I hate when Marcellus do this.
I'm on.
Sal, you can't tell me that there is not increased motivation when somebody on increased events.
Go.
Think, Greg Jennings, senior night. Think, Greg Jennings, maybe you knew you was about to, it was your last game in Lambeau. Think, Greg Jennings, somebody talk about your wife, somebody talk about your kids. There is, Marcellus, a higher level of motivation, big dog.
Wait, that's different. That's different. You're literally coming at me and who means something to me. We all just sat up here and said, okay, not that we don't care about these organizations, but what we care about most is, will that impact you paying me on the 1st of the month and the 14th? If not, then we cool. But when you start talking about my family, when you start coming at me, things that impact me, that shift me,
here's the thing, Greg.
That's something.
That's what you're going to start.
But here's the thing, Greg. Marcellus even disagrees with that. Marcellus, call me out if I'm wrong.
Let me hear.
You don't think, Greg Marcellus believes this. I am already going into a game with the highest level of motivation, so nothing can make me more motivated because to become more motivated is to mean I wasn't as motivated as I should have been. So, Greg Marcellus don't even agree with what you saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I've heard it before, but Marcellus don't even agree with what you saying, and then, hey, if somebody comes at me, my fam, I can't get any more motivated because I'm already as motivated as I can be. Sal, talk on that.
All right, Acho, I don't need you as my lawyer. I'm going to represent myself in my own case, okay? I might get disbarred, but hey, I'm going to say it. I walk into a game. Soon, I used to be psycho. That didn't mean people relax. Doesn't mean I'm going to play a perfect game. Doesn't mean I'm going to go out there and destroy people because I'm psycho. But I am fully motivated to go out there. And then you go at me and you say, hey, Marcellus, your mama... And, like, where is it going to go? Because I don't have any room between where I am and where I could be. That's my motivation. Motivation is not all you need in terms of execution. So make sure you understand that point. But I will push back on Acho in this.
What's up?
You didn't play your best game on senior night. You keep bringing up that example, and you had 2 games that same senior year better than your senior night. Where's the motivation? That was rhetorical. Let me give you one example to help you out, Acho.
Talk to me.
This is a family show, and you will never figure this out without me spilling the beans. I was a Buffalo Bill for 4 years. Then free agency, I went to San Diego. We played Buffalo that next year. I ain't gonna see, this is a story telling on myself. All right, so I'm in pregame, I'm psycho, I'm ready to go. My old teammates there, I'm giving them love. They talking trash about me. Wiley overpaid, Wiley sorry, Wiley ain't good, I'm glad he gone. Oh, really? First play, sack. Second play, tackle for loss. Third play, sack. Passed out, didn't even do nothing else the rest of the game. That's the only example I have of maybe I went 101%. Maybe.
That's all I'm saying, big dog. Sale is like, all I'm saying is you balled that game. How many 2-sack games did you have over the course of your career?
About
probably
50,
8,
100.
probably 10. Who cares? Who knows
90.
what it is? But that extra motivation put you in the top 10% of your play. My senior night, the top 10% of my play. So if somebody does disrespect me in game, if somebody run to the star after they just go
speaking of that,
and they try to do a little too much extra shine,
let's see.
then yeah,
like this?
Yes.
So you're a Cowboy, you about to go crazy.
I would have done something. Nah, see, if I was a defensive captain, I might have done something. Yeah. I might have, because it's gonna be this. You not gonna sit here and act a donkey in the whole stadium with my folk watching, not on Thanksgiving. No, sir. Coming up in our big story, Baker Mayfield, he been acting a donkey on the field, and he says he plays better with confidence. We'll tell you if that can help or hurt the Browns. That's next. Speak for yourself.
Welcome back. Time now for a rewarding performance sponsored by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Let's head to Cleveland for our big story. The Browns lost a thriller Monday night to the Ravens. But Baker Mayfield is still getting positive buzz. Baker had 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter to nearly pull out the win. Threw an interception, but it was his first in 6 games. Yesterday, Baker gave a clue on why he's playing better this season. Listen.
Playing with confidence is where I'm at my best, and so trusting these calls, trusting my eyes, and going through it, and trusting my guys around me.
Acho, will Baker's confidence help or hurt the Browns?
Yo, Baker's confidence, it is helping the Browns exponentially. It is helping the Browns tremendously. Baker's confidence always precedes his success. Baker Mayfield's confidence, it always precedes his success. Baker Mayfield went to Lake Travis High School in Austin, Texas. He was a walk-on, but he was confident enough to realize, okay, if I go to Texas Tech, it's going to work out for me. Goes to Texas Tech, becomes a starter. Baker Mayfield was confident enough to say, you know what, if I transfer to Oklahoma, even though I was formerly a walk-on, things going to shake out. He goes to Oklahoma. He was confident enough to say, if I come back my senior year, we might make it pretty far. College football playoff, wins a Heisman Trophy, #1 overall pick. Baker Mayfield's confidence, it always precedes his success. But what I'm seeing this year, even with his confidence, is now permeating to the entirety of the team. Okay. In football, we would often say, especially morning workouts, hey, fake it till you make it. That's it, big dog. You know what it is.
Hell yeah.
Fake it till you make it. You got a 6 a.m. morning workout. You don't want to be there. Nope. You don't. But you got to fake it until you can make it. And then once you make it, you ain't got to fake it no more. Baker Mayfield has officially made it, but not just with this talk, Sal, because if he was just talking nonsense, then that means I'm just talking nonsense. But he actually did it with his actions. Y'all remember in the game Monday night, 4th and 4. It's a pivotal down. Baker, you have to make a play. I can tell you about it, or I could just show you. 4th and 4, 13 minutes left. You're down by 14 points. You got to do something, Baker. Okay, you're going to step up into the pocket. I'm sitting on my couch screaming, run, Baker, just run for the first down. Baker's confident enough in himself and in his teammate to throw the strike for the touchdown. Baker's confidence, it precedes his success. His confidence is now permeated to the entirety of the team, not just in lip service, but in actual performance.
Oh, wow. That was a great take. I was just on Google looking up Baker Mayfield confidence and how it translated in the last game. And it's amazing that Baker Mayfield in the first quarter, that confidence, interesting. Looked all right, not too confident. Second quarter, third quarter. Oh, did I see in the fourth quarter he had 3 touchdowns when Lamar had to go to the bathroom? Like, that's when you want to show out. You're that confident. Let me give you an example for him because his confidence, I don't even see where it lands on the Browns. It's weird. It's almost a trick question. Confidence, how does it hurt you? Well, in Baker Mayfield's case, he finds a way because confidence can easily slide off center and become arrogance, can become cockiness.
I respect it.
So let's talk about the emotional fulcrum. You know what that is? Seesaw. So we have a seesaw with a balance, right? Right here's the fulcrum. That's what keeps the seesaw in balance, right? So confidence is supposed to be a quiet quality of belief that no matter what comes your way, I'm good for it. You're not going to be erratic. You're not going to be all over the place in terms of emotions and behaviors. You're certainly not going to look for fights and not pick them because you're confident. And Baker Mayfield wants us to believe he's right there, that fulcrum, right there in the middle, right, the balance in that. But what happens with Baker Mayfield, more times than not, is actually he's out of balance. Either he's arrogant and cocky, some of the erratic behavior we've seen before, or by performances, or he doesn't believe well enough in his own abilities. You know why? Because this is a guy who just broke his streak of no back-to-back games of 250 yards or more in 24 games. So now, in a losing effort, is the time for we're supposed to have a shower of roses for Baker Mayfield and sit there and say he's playing tremendous and is spreading through the team in a losing effort. Oh, because he has some stats. What does that matter when your stats are not consistent? Because Baker Mayfield's mental makeup is not consistent. If he were confident, I wouldn't hear so much from him. If he were confident, his play wouldn't be all over the place. It will be steady Eddie. It will be still. But Baker Mayfield, be real. As much as I loved him in college, it's up or it's down, but it's never balanced.
I respect it. I respect it. I'm not mad at it because you're not incorrect. But I'll say this. The difference between confidence and cockiness is, can you back it up?
Okay.
That's the difference. The difference between confidence and cocky. In college, we were never like, oh, Baker's so cocky. We was like, oh, Baker's so confident. It's because playoffs, Heisman, top passing offense, top passing player. Then he got to the league, and we were all like, oh, Baker's so cocky. Baker ain't changed. He just stopped balling. But the difference between cockiness and confidence is, can you back it up? Right now, Baker's backing it up. The Browns are backing it up, 9-4, on pace to have their best record since 1994. Offense firing on just about every single cylinder. Baker Mayfield, 28 touchdowns to only 9 interceptions. You just told me Josh Allen was balling this year, top 5 quarterback. Josh Allen, 28 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Baker Mayfield projected rather to have 28 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. So if Josh Allen is top 5 and Baker's projected to have 28 and 9, what Josh Allen has right now, I'm not going to sit here and act like Baker is just sorry.
No,
I'm also not going to act like Baker's underachieving. I'm going to act like Baker is what he is, balling right now. And his confidence now that he's backing it up is only certifying that.
But it's still not in balance, and I like that. It's still not in balance. First year was good to great. What was the second year? Okay, so once again, the seesaw. Oh, here you go, Baker. Oh, damn. What's this year? It's trying to bring it in balance. But if you look at this year under a microscope, you see like 2 different seasons. You see Baker Mayfield out there balling. But you also see Baker Mayfield having 7 games this year with a completion percentage under 60%. Acho, you have a lot of accolades, a lot of them coming of late. You got your own success. We're on a team together, but you're doing your own thing as well.
Facts.
You know what I can't do in these streets is say, I'm a New York Times bestseller. Why? Because I'm on a team with Acho, who is one. So I'm going to hide behind his cover. That's what Baker Mayfield does so many times during the year. He hides behind the fact that this team has won so many games, and it's Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt and me too. Hey, wait a minute, Baker. You don't deserve to be in the picture all the time.
But
that's the problem.
Let's go there then, big dog.
Come on.
Because, okay, sure, I'm a New York Times bestseller. Great, I am. Kudos, kudos, kudos. But you know what you'll read at the very back of the book? And you know this because you wrote a book. There's a section called acknowledgments.
Yeah.
And you know what you do in acknowledgments? You acknowledge those who contributed to the success of the book.
Okay.
You acknowledge those who contributed to the success of the work. Now, no, Oprah didn't write a word, but you best believe she was the second name in my acknowledgments. No, my editor didn't necessarily write a word, but you best believe she was the third name in my acknowledgments. So just because Baker Mayfield may not be the driving factor of the success, just because Baker's picture in a suit looking fresh may not be at the back of the book, let's not acknowledge and forget to acknowledge, rather, Baker Mayfield and the integral part he's playing and his confidence is playing in the Browns' success. You know you like that tape.
I like it.
You know you
like it because I got a book, and it didn't sell as many as yours. Amazon, does that count? Nobody give a damn about my sellers. Okay, here's the thing. Magic Johnson in my book. Okay, whatever. You got Oprah, though. Damn, I can't win. Here's the thing. Baker Mayfield can't hide, bro. I used to love being this guy on the team that everybody, yeah, we won, all right. And then we go on the team playing, you know, the veterans pick where they want to sit, typically first class, my team, or way in the back. It's weird, like even some superstars, I want to be way in the back, away from the coaches. Okay, and then y'all, rest of y'all who balled or played good or whatever, y'all figure out where y'all sit, right? If I'm on Baker's team, he can't pick where he wants to sit. I don't give a damn if you're the quarterback or not. I hear all the time when I say something about Baker Mayfield, he's a game manager plus. He's somewhere in that world, but he's not franchise worthy yet. He's not elite for sure. It's like he's coming, he's going somewhere, but where? Because he's been so erratic where he's been. 4-game win streak this year. And everybody started this Baker Talk 1.0 for this season. Baker Mayfield, here he comes. And then he played the Pittsburgh Steelers. 38-7, pick 6, first play. It was just ugly. Another 4-game win streak going into the Ravens game. Here we go again. He puts up some numbers. I won't even say empty. I would just say out of place because that touchdown that he threw in the fourth quarter, great, but people forget that they were in a dire situation because of the interception that he threw. And why did he throw that interception? Brian Griese said it. He was like, hey, man, if you're going to be a quarterback in this league, you can't have arrogance with your accuracy and arrogance with your arm strength. Baker Mayfield, man, he's all over the place.
Let me just push back on a little bit of meat you left on the bone, big dog. I think you're going to like this right here. We oftentimes we view game manager as a bad thing, right? It's like, you know what I hate, Marcellus?
True.
When people be like, you're so judgmental. Like in today's society, you're so judgmental. I can't stand him, he's judgmental. No, can I not assess the situation and decide if I want to be a part of it or not? Like, being judgmental is not a bad thing. Being a game manager is not a bad thing when we've seen game losers this year. Carson Wentz. He's been a game loser. Cam Newton, he's been a game loser at times. Mitch Trubisky, he's been a game loser. Kirk Cousins, first 2 games of the season, he was a game loser. When I realized that there are several quarterbacks who during the course of the season have periods of being game losers, then Baker, if all you gonna be is a game manager, I'll take that, big dog. Coming up, Cam Newton is being called out by a teammate's trainer? We'll tell you if this is something or nothing. That's next. Speak for yourself. Welcome back to Speak for Yourself. The Patriots aren't generating a lot of offense, and so it's time to point fingers. Wide receiver N'Keal Harry only has 5 catches in his last 3 games. Mind you, he was a former first-round pick. And so his trainer called out Cam Newton for his client's lack of production. He said, quote, "We got to put some of that expletive on Cam. Cam hasn't been the most accurate this year. Like if Harry had Brady, Tom Brady would have fed him. It's a big deal coming from Tom Brady to Cam Newton. One of Cam Newton's biggest issues is mechanics." Greg Jennings is back with us. Greg, you the resident all-star receiver. And since you're the only former Diva wide receiver here, we coming to you first. Greg, are the comments from Harry's trainer something, or are they nothing, big dog?
They are something, and unfortunately for N'Keal Harry, this should not be coming out of his wing, specifically a trainer. I mean, he can't. I get it. He can't control what other people are doing or saying, but if he was a baller and he was balling, then maybe you can have somebody saying something. But I played with Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, and I put up great numbers. Then I came over here to the Minnesota Vikings, and I had Christian Ponder, I had Matt Castle, a young rookie Teddy Bridgewater, and then in Miami, Tannehill. Obviously not the caliber of what I was accustomed to. Not one time did I ever blame my quarterbacks because I felt like I could overcome whatever they were lacking because I felt like I was that good, period. And so my thing with N'Keal Harry is when you get to this stage, when you get to this level, let the outside talk about what needs to happen from your quarterback. Don't allow you or your people to start to put that verbiage out there because it looks like you are in front of it and in charge of it. And when you have not made the plays that N'Keal Harry has just not made, look at last year, he didn't have a ton of receptions, even with Tom Brady, while they're talking about if Tom Brady was that quarterback, he would be getting tons of receptions and tons of targets. Well, we don't know that, and you don't have that. If it was a fifth, all of the above. So N'Keal Harry, man, tell your trainer to chill. He'll get some accolades once you start balling, buddy.
Man, my mom always said, if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all.
Why you talk so much during the show?
Oh, you shut up. I'm nice. So I'm going to appease my mama, rest in peace, mama, and say, happy birthday, N'Keal Harry, your 23rd birthday. And that's all I got to say about the nice stuff. Now, N'Keal Harry, how felonious is this? Like, you're accessory to this issue right here. Like, there are at least 8 counts, 8 indictments coming from this one right here. 1 count of ignorance, 2 counts of crazy. What are you talking about? You have nothing in terms of production and performance that could support anything coming from your mouth or anyone in your camp. But we heard him come out and say something. He was the 2nd wide receiver drafted in his class. You know where he ranks right now in receiving yards? 22nd in that same class. I ain't say the NFL, y'all. I said in that same class. You were drafted number 2 as a receiver, and now you're 22nd in receiving yards. Oh, his rookie year, he wants to go out there and say, well, if Tom Brady was there, Tom Brady would feed him. Well, Tom Brady was there in your rookie year. How'd that turn out? You were injured. Why were you injured? Because your trainer was too busy talking instead of training your ass. And then when you go out there and play, you give us, for a total year, 105 yards. Greg Jennings, I had to do my homework like Acho. Study long, study wrong. I study right this time. Greg Jennings had 18 games more in your career over 105 yards in a game. But that was N'Keal Harry's entire season. Oh, he's like, man, I ain't going out like that this year. I'm going to have 277 yards, 4th on the depth chart, and you a first rounder. N'Keal Harry has no leg to stand on, no game to stand on, and his trainer needs to mind his business, which should be getting N'Keal Harry good enough so he can get the rock.
Let me push back against y'all because I'm not going to add to it. Let me push back.
Oh, stop.
Marcellus Wiley, you used to work with an individual who's very controversial. And he's very controversial. Sitting in this chair, mind you. Incredibly
I was thinking about all the co-hosts I killed. Okay.
Incredibly controversial. And he's very controversial if you log on social media at times, not necessarily because, like, he's necessarily saying a wrong thing, but you just didn't have to say it. Like, you didn't have to actually say it. You might have a little bit of truth to what you're saying, but that wasn't necessary, nor was it nice. N'Keal Harry's trainer, he ain't say the wrong thing.
Did he?
Cam Newton, 9 picks to 5 TDs. He ain't say the wrong thing. He just said what most of us are too afraid to say. What'd he say? We got to put some of that ish on Cam. Cam hasn't been the most accurate this year. What'd he say? The last sentence. One of Cam Newton's biggest issues is mechanics. Thoughtful analysts in the NFL, Bucky Brooks, Daniel Jeremiah, they had the broadcast last week of Cam Newton. They said it looks like the elasticity in Cam's arm is gone. They said the same thing. What Bill Belichick say just 2 days ago? Our offense hasn't been as efficient as we'd like for it to be. He's saying the same thing. What me and you say yesterday debating Cam. You know, Cam does look like he lost a little something. We saying the same thing. We're just too nice to say it with our chest. N'Keal Harry's trainer, he came out and said what we all been thinking. Cam really ain't got it like that no more. He just said it with his chest. So I'm not going to sit up here in front like he spoke out a turd. He just said what we've been thinking.
I know that dude you talking about. He used to sit right there. And I know this type of trainer because the dude started off with a lie. He ain't the most accurate guy. Cam Newton is throwing the football in accuracy at 66% completion percentage. Second highest for his career, which is a career average of 60%. But now Cam is not accurate? Wait a minute. If he gonna say it with his chest, well, then say it with your chest and say what you really mean. You went initially to the only thing that Cam Newton is really doing well this year, which is be accurate with the football. So if I can't believe your topic sentence, what the hell am I going to listen to the rest of what you're talking about? Because all you're really trying to do is give some cover to your underperforming, underachieving client in N'Keal Harry. Hey, the football is tough. I don't give a damn how good you used to be. I don't care how good you were yesterday. Today, with no entitlement in the game, you have to always go out there and you only eat what you kill. N'Keal Harry has not done enough of that. And it's funny that a trainer in New England is going to be someone that's going to cause a fire. Because I haven't heard a comment ever from N'Keal Harry. Not controversial. Have you, Acho? Have you, Greg? No one's heard anything from him. He's hiding under a rock because he knows he ain't balling. And his trainer going to lift the rock up and say, hey, he only hiding under here because Cam Newton said that he can't get him the ball because he ain't accurate. That makes no sense to me. So I know we had TB12 in New England and Alex Guerrero. And Bill Belichick and Guerrero had their issues. Alex Guerrero would never have done this. You know why? Because this, what is this? NH 15, N'Keal Harry 15. You off to a bad start in New England because you ain't playing, you're controversial, and everybody who's sitting there is like, what are you talking about? To point at your quarterback because you can't get open, to me, that looks suspect.
As a receiver that has played the position that N'Keal Harry is currently playing, I would like to extend this to his trainer as well as himself. It's simple. Put up or shut up. Period. If you ain't putting up that work, then you might want to shut up, son, and you might want to have everybody else shushing around you. Because until we're talking about you, talking about the plays that you're making and what you have doing, what you could be doing, and we're not talking about all of the potential that rests in your physical physique and what you could provide to Cam, who is taking a step back, yes, but what have you done to make him even better? Until you do that and you start filling that void, put up or shut up. Just be quiet and keep doing what your game has been? Nothing.
Your trainer out there writing them checks you can't cash. He's not with your performances right now. Got season averages looking like Greg Jennings games. That ain't going to work in the NFL today, brother. You got to step it up. Coming up, Giannis is staying in Milwaukee. All right, good for him. I'll tell you if the Greek Freak's decision is good or bad for the NBA. Next, Speak for Yourself. Just like Kyle Kuzma's trainer, like talking trash. Welcome back to Speak for Yourself. Let's head to the NBA, where Giannis is staying in Milwaukee after signing a 5-year, $228 million Supermax extension. Eat, Greek Freak, who said his 5-year plan is to, quote, have kids and to have a championship, in that order, too. Got to bring in Fox NBA analyst Slick Rick the Buchler. So, Slick, is Giannis staying in Milwaukee good or bad for the NBA?
It's terrible for the NBA. There could be nothing worse for the NBA than Giannis Antetokounmpo pledging allegiance to the Milwaukee Bucks. It's wholesome. I'm going to have kids. I might throw a couple championships in there, but I want to repay my respects. I want to show my gratitude to the city of Milwaukee. Are you kidding me? There's no... Look, here's the reality. It's great for Milwaukee. It's great for the people of Milwaukee. But what have we learned about the NBA over the last few years? That the movement and mobility of its superstars has made it what it is and most attractive and capturing the greatest part of the sports landscape. We're talking about Anthony Davis the week before the Super Bowl and the possibilities of him going to the Lakers. Now that LeBron and AD have signed and pledged allegiance to the Lakers, how much gravitas did that get? How much splash did that get? Nothing. How much have we talked about Giannis deciding to stay in Milwaukee? An earth-shaking event, considering that we were talking about him potentially going to Toronto or Miami or Golden State. It does not play. What we have seen is that the people do not watch games today. The market and the audience for the NBA is a younger audience that spends its time on social media. That's where the NBA has become more popular than ever. It's not watching the games, it's talking about it. And what do we talk about? The potential of a superstar going someplace else. The number of fans that are interested in Giannis potentially coming to their team and what it would mean dwarfs the number of fans in Milwaukee who are excited that he's staying. It's just the reality. Wholesomeness and loyalty do not play on social media. Pettiness and unnecessary drama do. And since the NBA is making its bones on social media, this is the worst thing that could possibly happen for the NBA.
Slick, I would be sad if this was just your one bad take. But I'm heartbroken because this is 3 days in a row now of terrible takes, Slick. This is great for the NBA, Slick Rick. And let me tell you why. The greatest things about great sports is parity. What makes sports so great, Slick, is parity. Knowing that there is a little bit of equality amongst the sports so matches will be tight. What made that Ravens-Browns game on Monday night so good was how evenly matched they were. What makes the NFL playoffs so good. Bless you, Marcellus.
Man, I'm allergic to this BS. I'm sorry. Keep going.
What makes the NFL, Slick, so good is that 52% of the games, Slick, are decided by one possession or less. Parity. Slick, from 2015 to 2018, I didn't care about the 82 games from November in between May because what I knew was from the first tip-off until the end of May, we were going to see the Warriors and the Cavs. The 82 games were meaningless. Offensive Rookie of the Years, All-Star games, Defensive Player of the Years, 40-point games. It was all meaningless, Slick, because I could tell you one thing and one thing alone. The Warriors were going to meet the Cavs at the end. No parity. Slick, Why does college football semifinals have so many issues right now? Because 9 of the 12 semifinal games have been by double digits. The average margin of victory, Slick, in the college football playoffs is 21 points. There's not parity, so it makes the games boring. Keeping Giannis in the East. Mind you, the East only has 2 of the top 10 best players in the NFL, in the NBA, so that recent list came out. Slick, it brings and breeds forth parity. Parity is what makes the games great. Come on, Slick. I thought I knew you better.
Oh, man. Good takes. Good takes. I'm sorry for that sneeze right there. That was so rude of me. But you know what? I'm going to make up for it with a good take, I hope. And I think this is good for the NBA as well. I'm not mad at you, Slick, because you want the smoke. The NBA wants the smoke. Because somehow, some way, we've been duped into our society that the smoke is what matters most. It's weird. Growing up, I was a nerd. Real nerd. Like, I didn't look the part because I didn't wear glasses and, you know, the pocket protector, but certainly internally, I thought just like the nerds on the outside. And I used to hear all the time all the other popular kids and the gangsters and the preppy boys and all the ballers. Everybody was in their own cliques thinking that they had the best way up the mountain. And the smoke that they were causing and all the attention they were going to get was going to guarantee success. And then the real world hits you and you start to realize that maybe you should have been a little more focused on what matters most. What matters most to Giannis is giving 1,000%. His loyalty, and his family. And I'm not mad at the guy who put his family first because you know what? Basketball will leave you, but your family hopefully won't. So in that situation, that's a positive. But let's talk about the NBA and why they're sitting there and maybe applauding this silently as well. I go back to 2010 with the decision. You guys remember that? LeBron James taking his talents down to South Beach. And that's the first time we saw the ratings decline in the NBA. Wanting the smoke, Slick? Well, LeBron James gave you the smoke with the decision and all of the antics and the pep rallies and the championships, but the NBA first version of smoke. And what started to happen with the ratings as they went down? Other players started to say, I like that smoke. We saw, there's a long list, but I'll highlight it with Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Anthony Davis, etc. Since then, starting to make enforced trades and go where they want to go. Then on the flip side, since 2010, we saw guys like Dirk, Kobe, Duncan, all retire with the same franchise that drafted them, long careers. And then there's this other generation of players that's kind of like Giannis, like Steph Curry, like Klay Thompson, like Damian Lillard, that says, you know what, I'm going to stay where I was drafted and success will either come to me or else. I'm just going to stay here and figure it out. I think the NBA needs to understand what's happening right now, that they need to return back to the yesteryear times when the NBA was flourishing and there was stability. I think it was a turnoff to many fans, as the ratings suggest, that if you get to choose and pick and go wherever you want to go, it's not necessarily greater for the NBA as a whole.
Okay, you guys need to get together and work out your cases. If you're going to both take the same side, you can't have conflicting positions. And you just gave me one. Acho, one of these days you and I are going to agree on a subject, but today is not that day. You just made a case that what made the NBA so popular for you is that we were seeing the Cavs and the Warriors, the consistency of the Cavs and the Warriors in the finals. That was the attraction for you. And now Marcellus tells me that all the movement and everything, that's what's taking away, and that's why the ratings are decreasing. Okay, so what is it? The ratings have been decreasing because of movement or because of consistency? The bottom line is the TV ratings have steadily decreased. In the bubble, we had a great matchup. We had LeBron James and Anthony Davis, and we had that pursuit of a fourth ring versus the upstart Miami Heat, another decent market. And yet the ratings from the year before, Golden State versus Toronto, fell 50% in the finals. But you know what increased? The social media following. And why did it follow? Because people who are following the NBA in this day and age, the market is into the smoke. They're into talking about it and debating it and exchanging tweets more than they are actually watching the game. And so Giannis staying in Milwaukee is great for competition. And Giannis is a great watch as a player, but nobody's watching. So the interest in Giannis would be far greater if he wasn't pledging allegiance to Milwaukee and was like LeBron up until the Lakers, where it was every 2 years, where is he headed next?
Slick. If you into all this smoke, go to one of these shops out here in these corners in L.A., okay?
Gummies.
That's what you keep bringing out, is all this smoke. Slick, you misunderstood my take. I was saying that the Warriors versus the Cavaliers for 4 years in a row was bad for the NBA because you didn't have to care so much about the games in between, because the games in between were irrelevant. The games in between were rendered meaningless. Slick, I already have issue with the NBA and its attainment of parity because of the lottery. Like, I like the way the NFL does it. Worst team get the best pick. Second worst team got the second best pick. That, to me, makes sense. Slick, it's very simple for me. You keep Giannis in the East, that means you keep a high level of competition in the East, along with the well-coached Raptors team, along with the currently roster-wise talented Brooklyn team. But I remember early 2000s, up until LeBron got good, you saw the West was dominant and the East was like a laughingstock. Lakers won a chip, Lakers won a chip, Lakers won a chip, Spurs won a chip. Pistons, okay, Spurs won a chip. Heat, Lakers won a chip, Lakers won a chip. Like, come on, Slick. There wasn't no parity there. It was just kind of like whoever wins the West is going to win it all. And the East, they just out there running and jumping. That's it.
Look, I think the fans are sitting there, Slick, like, look, if the players are not buying into this situation, then I'm not going to buy in to the same level as well. How's it good for the NBA if there's smoke on Twitter, but it's not helping the NBA? Like, Twitter wins. Twitter gets more value and is a better platform. But people are not watching the games, you say, Slick. So I think there's some undermining of your argument by your own conversation, because it's a drama-filled argument. And when in this world does it really win to have more sizzle than substance? Think about that. Like, that was my example growing up, and that's why I was talking about, like, substance over time is going to win this marathon. And I don't think that a lot of the NBA people, the executives, are thinking about that in the same way. But there is a coincidence, or greater, a correlation between 2010 and the decline in ratings and all this player movement all of a sudden that has occurred as well from 2010. Coming up, the Bills and Browns are two of the hottest teams in the AFC, but we'll tell you which team is more dangerous. Next, speak for yourself. Speak it for them. Was that Justin?
Speak for yourself. The Browns and the Bills both look like they're headed for the playoffs. Cleveland has won 4 out of 5, and they are the 5th seed in the AFC right now, while Buffalo, the Bills, are the 3rd seed and have won 3 straight games, including last week's impressive win against them Steelers. So, Marcellus, who's the more dangerous AFC team right now? Is it the Browns or them Bills?
Let's go, Buffalo. This is really us fighting right now. You're a Browns.
I was drafted to the Browns.
Thank you, and I was drafted by the Mafia, baby. So you know I'm going to keep it gangsta up here. I'm going to keep it simple, too. I want to hear your retort. Against winning teams, the Browns are 2-4 this year. That's a losing record, Acho. The Bills are 5-3 versus teams with a winning record this season. Looks to me that when you talk about postseason, which are the winning teams, the better teams, the Buffalo Bills have already proven that they're more dangerous, more lethal, better against those teams than your team right here. I want to hear this out there.
I respect this, Marcellus. You're not slick, though.
I got a lot of notes here, but I just want to keep it simple.
Whenever somebody's like, yeah, I'm going to keep it quick, I want to hear your take. That's because I ain't got no fire. I ain't got no ammunition. Now, look, big dog, I got fire. I did my homework. I don't have blank sheets of paper up there. I just have one sheet because that's all I need. Give me the Cleveland Browns, and give me the Cleveland Browns. This is a tough question for me, but give me the Cleveland Browns because I like the way they play football as it pertains to the playoffs. Give me the team that can run the ball in the top 3 when it comes to rushing offense. Give me the team that's top 6 in turnover differential. Obviously, they are number 6. Give me the team that can stop the run reasonably well. But most importantly, the Browns are 6-1 in 1-score games. Browns are about to be they have to play in the wild card round. I told you just yesterday, every wild card game last year was a 1-score game. Every single
So it's going to happen again this year? Oh, no.
Hey, all I'm going to say is this.
You going to say
if every game, all 4 of them games last year, all 8 of them teams that played, if those games were decided by 1 point or less, and I know in the NFL, 52% of games are decided, not 1 point, 1 possession, and I know in the NFL, 52% of games are decided by 1 possession or less, then give me the team That is 6 and 7 in games this season decided by 1 possession or less.
That was weak. Let's talk about my team. Only 3 losses this year. You know who they lost to? 2 of them?
Who that?
AFC Championship game from last year. Who was in that? Kansas City and Tennessee. And we only got 1 more loss than that. And that was a Hail Mary by Arizona. Other than that, we only lose to the top teams in the conference coming off of last year's play. So I don't understand how this is really a conversation other than just a loyalty argument. I would have went Cleveland if they had a winning record against good teams, but they don't. We've seen them. Pittsburgh, remember that 38-7 beatdown? Remember Baltimore game, first game of this year, beatdown? And then even Baltimore, you got to wait for Lamar Jackson to cramp or go to number 2, whatever he had to deal with, for you finally to creep up into a game that felt like a blowout was coming. So I just don't see you guys matching up against the great teams. Tennessee, give me that half. I give you that. But other than that, I don't see it.
What I do see is this. You know this, and in the playoffs, anything can go crazy. Remember Josh Allen in the playoffs. Probably would have helped him to be a little bit more confident because he had what? No touchdowns. I think took 3 sacks and just some chaotic plays.
Yeah, that was a mess.
Also, right now with Baker Mayfield, I told you, his confidence, it precedes his success. Clearly, Baker Mayfield's not a better quarterback than Josh Allen. But in the playoffs, when anything can happen, where the weather gonna be bad, regardless of where you playing more than likely in the AFC, you know them teams is playing in bad weather. Give me the quarterback that is confident beyond reason. That's Baker Mayfield and them Browns. Coming up, Uncle Jimmy ain't done talking about James Harden. What you wearing, man? Find out what else he has to say. That's next. You don't want to miss this one. Put on a shirt, huh?
Yeah. Let me get some of the Lou Will pepper rings. Before we go, Uncle Jimmy joins us. Jimmy went pretty hard on James Harden yesterday. But I hear you have more to get off your chest. Let's hear it, Isaac, from the Love Boat.
Hey, man, remember back in the day when you and your girl would get into an argument? She'd make you so mad, you storm out the house, jump in the car, get ready to burn rubber up the street, then suddenly you realize you left your keys in the house.
Okay.
Then you got to go back in the house looking crazy as hell with that dumbass look on your face. Well, that's how James Harden looked last night during that press conference. James Harden looked like that dude at work who quit on Friday in front of everybody, but then showed back to work on Monday like it wasn't nothing happened.
No, that's real.
Hey, man, James Harden is going to miss Russell Westbrook more than he's going to ever know. Right about now, James Harden is going to learn the definition of what it means to have to pull his own weight. See, because right now, Harden thinks he's official big baller, okay? That's the real reason he wants to go to Miami. Not to hang out with the rappers that have strippers that smoke blunts. He wants to go down to Miami to hang out with the rappers that got the personal chefs that smoke the turkeys. Hey, man, James Harden has outgrown the NBA. He wants to hang out with people his own side, like Rick Ross, Fat Joe, DJ Khaled. All of them guys, I mean.
I love that track. Fox Whitlock.
And another one.
Whitlock down in Miami, too? Let me stop.